Chris, I think when you sent out Too Deep, the #1 question people had was, what's happened to Jay Harris and what does he have to do to get back on what happened to him and what does he have to do to get back on the depth chart?
Yeah, right now for this game, Juwan Harris has got a 1-game suspension for team rules, but after that he'll be fine.
How has he looked in camp, regardless of suspension, just performance-wise and getting back?
Oh, he's done it nice. He's been limited a little bit. He was slowed in the summer from a back injury, carried over into camp a little bit, but he's healthy now and doing some good stuff.
When your team is an underdog, do you use that as a motivating factor? Do you go into it with trying to instill that mindset into your players?
Some guys do. We do sometimes, maybe based on the situation. Our motivating factor is going out and playing the best football that we can play. To be honest with you, being an underdog is someone else's opinion, not ours. And we're focused on going out and playing the best football that we can possibly play. I believe that type of stuff only can carry you so far anyway. When the foot hits the ball, it's about executing. It's about playing hard. It's about playing for each other and doing it for 4 quarters.
Kevin Wilkins, with him working on the edge, how is he performing? What do you like about him doing that as opposed to playing inside?
Well, he does both. It just depends on the front. I mean, he does both. So I think Kevin, for 300-pounders, got some really good feet and hips. He's one of our more athletic defensive linemen. We're blessed to have more big guys than we do speed guys off the edge right now. So he's doing a little bit of both.
You named Andrew Hart the kicker yesterday. How much more confident or what type of changes do you see in the kicking game?
Well, again, it depends on what type of kicking game you're talking about. There's all kinds of aspects to the kicking game.
Just place kicking in general.
If you're talking about just place kicking in general, we'll find out when we play. I like what he and David both did in practice. Andrew is probably a little more consistent here near the end of training camp is why he beat David out. David's still got a little issues with his back from the spring. He's almost 100%, but not quite. But Andrew, beat him out fair and square through competition, through all of training camp, and he's earned the right to go out there. And doesn't mean David won't. At some point, depending on how Andrew does.
Do you have a backup quarterback?
It's 2 guys. It's Gio and Jonathan are both backup quarterbacks.
I don't know if you'll share this, but if something was to happen with Bolin, something unfortunate, who would be the guy?
All based on the situation.
Okay.
What is the reason for the night practices? You changed the
afternoon practices.
No,
I know.
4 p.m.
Gotta get dark soon.
Yeah.
Well, I think when we went back and evaluated our season last year, I go back to my experiences, 20-some years of coaching. They've all been in the afternoon. I look at our football team and I look at the class schedules here at Rutgers. When we're getting the players up at 6 a.m. and the majority of them have night classes till 10 p.m. There's not a lot of sleep, and when you go through a week like that, you are tired when Saturday comes. And I just think changing the schedule and changing our class routine, hopefully we can allow our players to get more sleep throughout the week and be more better rested for Saturday. I know there were a lot of conversations about slow starts and things like that on Saturdays. We don't ever play the game at 9 a.m. In practice time. We play games in the afternoon and evenings, and I think it will serve our team better to practice and train at those times.
So the majority of players have their classes done before practice?
Yeah, the majority. There's some that are going to have night classes still. They won't all go till 10 o'clock. We got a lot less that are going to be in that situation than when we practice in the morning. We'll still do morning workouts in the spring, but here during fall, we're going to switch and go back to traditional afternoon practices. And you talk to 15 different coaches, and they all have different opinions. And I just go back to my experiences and what I think is best for preparation for coaches, and gives the players the best opportunity to rest and recover and be at their best on Saturdays.
How's Kamoko doing? Has he been
He's doing great. Kamoko's he's been cleared. He's missed some time during training camp, so we're trying to catch him up to speed on some stuff. But he's been cleared. He's been out here all this week practicing.
In recruiting, how valuable are the next few weeks? You get kids on campus again, and you can start evaluating senior, junior film.
Recruiting's it's valuable every day. We never stop recruiting. You know, there was a dead period here in August, but we're on the phone with recruits all the time. You know, that never stops. They need to go out and, you know, get the guys that are in 2018 class, they need to go out and have a great senior year. So they don't need the distractions of being on campus at this time. They need to be out and focus on their team and being the best senior leader or captain or whatever it may be for their football team. So the break is great. You know, we're in conversation with recruits all the time, and it's going to be good to get them on campus for games and stuff like that. But again, at this time of year, I want to make sure they're taking care of their team and their senior year back home.
What improvements has the secondary made in like this week, like looking at game film and all that from last year?
Well, I think our secondary played pretty good last year. I expect us to play even better because we got the majority of it back. I really like that group back there. They're playing fast. They communicate well. They get their hands on the ball. I think we're, you know, in practice anyway, we've been tackling at a very high level in the secondary, and they've been doing it consistently from day one. So, again, I think our secondary overall, we weren't perfect, but we made huge improvements throughout the course of last year and would expect us to build on that this season.
Washington had 2 return touchdowns against you last year. Do you feel like you're better equipped to deal with that this time around?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, we weren't very good on special teams last year, but last year's last year. I mean, you look at our special teams right now, our starting punt team's probably going to have, if not all 11, at least 10 of the 11 guys are different than that played in this game last year, completely different. So what does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out. The true test will be what happens Friday night. I could sit here and tell you all these things about what we could do, what's going to happen, all that. None of it matters until we get to the game Friday night. This is a very good football team we're going to play. We got a lot of players back. And it's going to be a huge challenge for us. So we're excited about the challenge, but it's going to be a huge challenge. Our players are excited to go out and see where we're at.